Well, hello, food service management peeps, and welcome to week 4. Hey, you guys know this class ends in like 17 days? I know, it's amazing. So remember, if you've taken those knowledge checks in weeks 1 through 3, you still have an opportunity to go back and improve that grade if you want to. So do that. If you have an 8 or a 9, go right back in and check and make sure you get those 10 points, because why not? You can still take those checks. They are still open, and you have that opportunity to get the best grade you possibly can. So, hey, how you guys doing? How's your week 4 going so far? Good. By the way, our special guest tonight is Chef Gregory Bonath, my boss. He's here just trying to make sure things don't crumble apart, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. You want to say hey to everybody, Chef?
Yeah, hello everybody. Thank you guys for letting me join this evening. You guys have an absolutely amazing instructor, as I'm sure that you've already seen for the past weeks. And that's it. Just thank you everybody for letting me join.
Thank you so much, Chef. Feel free to jump in if you want to. I know that you're going back and forth.
Thank you.
So guys, this week we're actually going to be focusing a little bit on leadership. And I'm going to start off with a story, and then I want you guys to share your story. And sadly, my stories seem to sort of go, oh my God, that's kind of story. But if you have a great story, I want to make sure you guys share it. So it was one of my first jobs cooking in this business. And I had a chef, executive chef, who worked ahead of me, who happened to have just a wee bit of a temper. And I was just walking around the corner, and there was lots of yelling going on. I wasn't really paying attention. And just right before I turned that corner, I saw a Chinese cleaver go in front of my face and then land boing into the wall. So when I say he had a little bit of a temper, boy, did he ever. I went home and told my mother about that. I was 16 years old, and I was never allowed to go back to that restaurant again. Seems fair, right? But that's my story of a boss that did something absolutely reprehensible. And then I have most of the time bosses who have been really solid, great workers, trying to promote the business and trying to make sure everybody's growing and thriving. So what about you guys? What has been one of your best or worst experiences with a boss? Go ahead, you can unmute. Nobody's going to judge you. Don't worry, you don't have to try to top that Chinese cleaver through the air. Chef, you're going to have to walk away. Everybody's scared of you.
I apologize.
That's all right, no worries. It keeps cutting out. What's the question? Talia, the question is this. Do you have a story, and would you share it about either a great experience with a boss or an experience with a boss that challenged you? Marissa, I know you have one.
I was thinking about one that happened kind of at the beginning of this whole Corona thing. I was working at this corporate restaurant, and we have a lot of locations here in El Paso, and he had asked me to go to a location that's pretty far from my house to just help out. So I went over there, and I guess they didn't tell the manager that I was going. So when I went, they were just like, oh, like, who are you? Like, why are you here? Like, basically, like, saying that they didn't need me. And I don't know, I kind of got, like, a little mad, and we got into it a little bit. And I almost got fired, actually, for it.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, by one of the area directors, because she had asked me to go over there. And I was just well, like, yeah, we got into it. And then I left and I called her and I was like, well, she was just being like really mean and like unnecessary. So I just left. And then she kind of got mad at me, but I don't know.
So this probably comes down to communication, making sure that there's timely and efficient communication, right, Marissa? That if the person had said that you were coming over, it wouldn't have been such a surprise.
Yeah,
Right?
it wasn't a good situation.
Yeah, so that sort of goes down to communication. All right, who else has a story, good or bad? Doesn't matter.
Good or bad?
Yeah, good or bad, Andrew. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, what are we doing here?
So
Story?
basically, I started off with a story because we're going to be talking about leadership today. And I started off with a story about a boss who threw a cleaver, not at me, but it happened to go in front of my face. So at least I know it wasn't towards me. And that's a really nice, and that my boss did like me. He was really upset that I was in the way. Good or bad story, share your story and we'll kind of look at it to look at what could have been made better or what was good about it.
Okay, I worked in a Girl Scout camp in Western New York.
Oh, cool.
And I lived in Chicago.
Oh, my.
And so my wife had a job there and I had a job there and my kids went summer camp there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was the boss of the kitchen.
Okay.
And I hate to say it, but I'll just say it anyway, because I don't think she knew that I was African American.
Uh-huh.
And so she kept hassling me I was there for the whole summer. I made it through the 8 weeks, but she kept hassling me. Every 2 weeks, she would write me up for something.
Your wife?
No, the supervisor.
Okay, thank you. I had to check and make sure. I was like,
my wife worked in a
talk
whole
to your
different
wife
area.
about that. Go ahead.
Right. She worked in a whole different area of camp. Anyway, so when it got to the end of the summer, she asked me evaluate her.
Mm-hmm.
And I evaluated her. I said that she was a blank boss.
Ooh.
And it went to her supervisor. And so the supervisor came back to me and asked me why I said that. And I said, because she's not a leader. You know, of times, she's not a leader because a couple of times when I would get into a situation, like the food would be like 15 minutes late, not because of me, because of delivery. Right. And instead of her saying, okay, because we would do backwards meals. We'd start with dessert and go backwards. So I told her, I said, we need to do a backwards meal today so my chicken can get done. It was like 15 minutes and she wasn't having it. So she wrote me up. So that's why she wasn't. So her boss was mad. And because I knew what I was doing, I was good at what I did. And so I didn't go back anymore. Mm-hmm. And she begged me, offered me money and all that. No, because she wasn't a good leader.
So it was the person, well, some leaders are, not everyone is meant to be a leader. I just want to make sure you guys understand that.
Right.
Now, sometimes you have people who get promoted and they may do everything really, really well. And once they get promoted, maybe they don't do that job as well. And it's okay. Not everyone's supposed to be a leader. In your situation, Andrew, what do you think was the biggest challenge for you? If you were in her position, what would you do differently? I think that's the better question.
The one thing that I didn't say was I made $7,000 more than she did.
Yeah, that would not have gone over well.
So what? Now you said, what would I have done if I was in her position?
If you had been in her position, what would you have done differently?
I have to figure, in her situation, I would have to figure out how to help my head chef. I would have to figure all this out. Okay, John, what's going on? What can we do to help this situation? Because I don't need you, you don't badger somebody when they know that they already are in trouble. Mm-hmm. She was a badgerer, and I would help. I would have helped because a good leader is a good follower.
Right. You would get in the trenches and help out when you
get right in there and help. Because that's what a good leader is, a good follower. A good leader helps people, So that was kind of, And I have what in this situation, I have washed pots. I've done it because I'm a leader. I'm a leader. And I have to lead by example. I can't tell you, well, I ain't gonna do it. It's your job. You do it. Don't work like that in the food service business.
And I would have to say, boy, truer words have never been said. How many times have you seen your executive chef go into the dish pit and start helping wash dishes?
That's it.
Or,
Yes, ma'am.
or run food to the table? Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. You know, I've worked in lots of different places, and the executive chef has always, I've never seen an executive chef say no. I've always said, oh, if the pantry station's going down, the exec or the sous chef hops right in. So
Right.
absolutely, that hands-on, helping the team get through any of the challenges that are happening. Superb. Someone else, give me another story, please.
Mine's not food related, but I used to be a high school teacher in a Catholic high school, and
Oh,
I was
boy.
the department chair of the religion department or theology department. And it was started by the Dominican sisters who hadn't been there, since the 60s, and they came back, 3 of them. And we had a young priest who was a chaplain, and then the principal who had been there for a while. But they were both terrified of the sisters. And so since I was the department chair, I had to, they were like, you go tell the sisters this is what we're going to do. I was like, well, that's your job. And they're like, no, we need you to do it. So anyways, it was kind of poor leadership because they were scared. So I got caught between the nuns and the priest and the principal trying to straighten all out because they wanted something done, but they didn't want to have to go to the sisters. They wanted me to. And so I was doing their job plus my job. So it was kind of frustrating just because it was basic. They just were scared to go talk to the
Yeah.
so
And you've said something interesting, and this is true for a lot of humanity. Confrontation is really uncomfortable,
yeah.
and a lot of people avoid it like the plague.
Yes.
I tell you, it just went, me, chef. Yeah.
So it was humorous at the same time because I had to go and be the one to tell this is what we're doing or not doing and take all the blunt from both sides.
Yeah, and it's good to understand how to be able to bring up uncomfortable subjects and be able to present them in such a way that allows everyone in the room to be able to at least digest what's being said. Doesn't mean people are going to agree. Doesn't mean it's part of the plan. It's just that ability to be able to talk about it and people to still be able to move forward. It's a real skill, guys. And I guess this sort of brings us around to talking about leadership in the sense of some people are born leaders. Most people have to learn how to be a leader. So
Yep.
please do not think this is something that is just natural and you could never learn it. You can't. And particularly because maybe a lot of you are thinking about having your own business. Who here wants to have their own business? Yeah, you're raising your hand. So that is something that you're going, look, I got a me from TJ. Absolutely, guys. It's something that you develop. And so I'm going to start you off with something that I ask myself on a daily basis. And you can massage it so it works for you. But it's a great way to get you to start thinking about, right on, Sue, to start thinking about how to be a leader. So with every conversation or every task you have, every email you send, whatever, you ask yourself, how can I do this smarter, better, and faster? You might not have an answer, but what you're doing is you're getting your brain to start thinking about, how do I work with people? How do I manage whatever this situation is? And it could be great, right? Could have been everything perfect, but you still want to challenge yourself to say, how can I do this to the best of my ability? What else do you guys think you could do to help yourself be a better leader?
A leader is a good follower.
You've said that, but I'm looking for actions, Andrew. So do you take a class? Do you talk to people? Do you find a mentor? What do you guys think? Listen, I like listen, but listen to whom?
Somebody who's already been in the business.
Ah, so you're listening to them, so you're looking for a mentor. And
Right.
that's a really smart thing to do. Should you just have one mentor, or do you guys think you can have several?
Several is better.
Why? Why do you say that, Andrew? I
Because
agree, but why? Why are you
bounce
saying it?
off- you can bounce off each other to see if it's a click. You know what I'm saying? Like John, he knows, and then Mark, he's my other, and I listen to both of them, and then I see what fits.
Outstanding. And they're bringing their experience to the table, and they may add to what you're already experiencing, and it could help you develop. Wonderful. What else do you guys think you could do to be a better leader? You're all going, I don't know, Janet. Somebody just said something. What was that?
Lead by example.
Oh, right on, Mark. I like that. Leading by example. That absolutely works. I'm also looking at sort of outside forces that you can access to help you learn how to be a better leader. So it's not necessarily personal. It's about what is out there as a tool or a resource that you could use to help you develop.
Google, internet.
Google, okay, so you've got this entire wide internet to help you develop your leadership skills. How do you know when it's a good resource that's really going to help you?
It comes from a reliable, accountable source.
Oh, great, Jennifer. Can you explain that a little bit further? What is a reliable source?
A reliable source is someone that's, well, in the school's case, accredited, but in a restaurant situation where you can follow their certifications, so to speak.
So you could go to school, or you could access respected journals. So here's an example. I was looking some stuff up, and I, honest to God, I came up with something called the Boss Lady, who was giving advice on mentorship. And I was thinking, who is this person? Who is the Boss Lady? And there was no record of who she was or who she worked for. And I'm thinking, I bet you have some really great things to say, but because I don't know any of your background, I can't actually think of you as a reliable source. But the Harvard Business Review is a really reliable source. One, the name Harvard. One, it is associated with Harvard. It's run by Harvard faculty. And the stuff they write about is very solid information on how to be a better leader. So as Jennifer says, if you're going to use the internet, make sure the sources you're getting are really reliable. That way you're getting really solid information to help you be the best you possibly can be. I like that. What else?
Not to be taboo, but what about something along the lines of like conferences and different meetings? Like, I mean, there's different organizations like Six Sigma and the Franklin Covey Group and
Yeah.
associations like that.
Absolutely. That would be a marvelous way for you to keep developing your leadership skills. And any business relationships, like being part of the Better Business Bureau, or if you're community minded, maybe joining the Rotary Club. All these different groups can help you develop. So yes, absolutely, absolutely. What else? You guys might laugh at this. See a therapist. I know everybody's going, why would she say that? Why would I say, go visit a therapist?
Sometimes it's good to have an unbiased opinion.
Unbiased opinion, absolutely. Someone who will listen to you and try to understand what's going on. I love that. What else? What's another reason? Why go to therapy anyway? What does therapy do for you? What is therapy supposed to do for you? I should say that.
It helps you like overcome any like personal struggles or something that you're dealing with.
Yep, absolutely. It does something else for you too. Work on underlying problems, helps you figure out solutions to issues you have. Oh my goodness, this is all good, doing great. What it ultimately is supposed to do is to help you understand what gets you going. And if you need to find solutions to work around it or improve it or live with it or whatever it is, it helps you know who you are. Why would that be important to you as a leader?
If you know what's wrong, you know how to fix it.
Yeah, if you know what's wrong, you know how to fix it. Or if you see something that triggers you, maybe you can sidestep it.
Or develop the
Absolutely.
coping skills.
Yeah, develops coping skills. Because when you're in a leadership position, who are you actually dealing with? Who are you actually dealing with? People different from you. Yeah, and you're dealing with yourself. So you've got two different kind of energies going on there. And let's face it, we're all the same, right? We think the same, we have the same goals, right? No, absolutely not. They're saying, Janet, you are crazy. Yeah, absolutely. Because I am crazy. We knew that from the beginning. But what it is you're dealing with people. And if you can understand yourself as a leader, you're able to actually understand what triggers you or causes you challenges. And you also are able to say, look, I'm working on this, and be that honest and open with the people that you're working with. So that way you're not in a constant struggle. Has anyone here ever been, Andrew, this would be you, has anyone here ever been in a situation where you felt like your entire relationship with your boss or an employee, coworker, was constant conflict? Yeah, I got a bunch of people raising their hands. How'd that make you feel, guys?
Like a failure.
Okay, made you feel like a failure. All right, Talia says uncomfortable.
Good.
Marissa, what did you say?
Wanted.
Exhausted? Okay, absolutely, absolutely. And when people are uncomfortable, exhausted, feeling like a failure, dreaded going to work, when people have these emotions that they're dealing with, are they as productive as they possibly can be?
Nope.
Absolutely not. So as a leader, you felt alone, right? So as a leader, it's not that you are here to solve everyone's problems. Your job is to do what?
Cook. Be a chef.
Cook, be a chef, but that's actually not the entire leadership position. If you have a team that has any sort of conflict that's going on, what should you be able to be working on? I was constantly not relevant to the task at hand. Keep the business going. Yes, your job as a leader is to keep the business going. But can you do that by yourself, TJ? When Marissa is exhausted and Jennifer feels like a failure and Sue feels alone, can you keep the business going when you have people feeling that way?
Mm-mm.
No, I would talk too much. Yeah, too much noise. Yeah. Oh, I see. You would talk, but there's too much noise going on. So this is part of the gig of being a leader. A leader, you could be a leader of one, and you can be very active in your community and lead by example. But typically when you have a business, it is very rare that you have the business by yourself, particularly a food industry, right? How many people minimally could be in the back of that house? You've got you, the owner, the chef. Who else could be there? You're saying 5. Who's on that team, Talia?
Line cook.
Yeah, maybe you have a line cook. Okay, who else?
Prep cook.
Prep cook. Maybe you have a dishwasher. So you have minimally 5 people in the back of the house. I haven't even gone to the front of the house right now, but you have minimally 4 people in the back of the house trying to make everything run. And if one person is in a bad mood,
Everyone's in a bad mood.
everyone's in a bad mood. So as a leader, part of that gig, Mark talked about confrontation. Part of that gig is with gentle kindness, being able to say, look, something's going on. We got to move forward because we got 50 people out there who need to eat. And wherever your head is right now, I want to help you get out of it so we can move forward.
Sadly, everybody not like that.
Say that again, Paige.
Sadly, everybody not like that because I work for Kroger's right now and I have a manager. He always I'm talking about every day since I've been working, he always in a bad mood. So
I'm sorry.
he
Sorry.
one day I can only I'm the type of person was even if I got stuff going on at home, I don't bring that to my job. I put all that to the side, and he a type of manager where he hounds everybody constantly. And one day I just got tired of it, and I told him, I said, what's your problem with me? I said, because I don't have a problem with nobody in the store, but you don't come in, you don't smile. I said, and when you in a bad mood, I said, it make us be on edge like we did something wrong. And I told him straight up, maybe you need to start smiling. I said, I have never seen your teeth since I've been here. I have never seen a smile for you. I said, I'm like that though, Chef Janet, my personality, I'm very bubbly. I'm a people's person. So yeah. I scan groceries and I'm talking to my customers through my line because that's part of my job and it's also who I am. So I had to tell him, if you smile a little bit or if you stop being so concealed, then maybe you'll have a productive day. And after I told him that, people around the store was I don't know what you told him, but his attitude is different now because I told him, I said, if you smile, it won't hurt. I said, you act like if you smile, it's going to hurt you. I said, smile. It's okay no matter what's going on in your life. I said, you got to remember this. Somebody is always out there going through something worse than you. I said, and we all got to work together. I said, so I'm not about to keep holding my tongue because I'm trying to make you happy. You my boss. Yes, you over me, but at the same time, you making everybody's job hard just by your attitude. I get frustrated, so I say it sometimes.
Right. Well, I'm going to say something to you, Paige. Boy, that was courageous what you did.
Truly.
That was truly courageous.
I'm like that. If you think it, I said, and everybody in my job know that. They know I'm not gonna be disrespectful or, I'm not gonna be unprofessional when I say it. But at the same time, I'm gonna tell you, and you're gonna understand what I'm saying and how I'm saying it. And it might be with a smile. It'll never be in an angry type of attitude because I have to be around these customers and people, so I'm not gonna cause a scene. But I'm gonna just pull you to the side and let you know how you making me feel because I can't go about my day in a hostile environment.
Right, and I'm glad you were able to do that. That was really fantastic of you. How did you feel after you completed, made that effort? How did you feel? Not how he changed. How did you feel?
I feel good because it was something, because I left Kroger's to pursue school. Then they called me back for Corona, and I really didn't want to come back because he actually was the manager that asked me to come back. And I really didn't want to come back because I knew I was going to lose focus on school because I have a hard time trying to do multiple things at one time. So when my focus going to be on something more than the other. So now it's to the point where I said, okay, I can only work 3 days a week because I'm missing my school. You know that because we had our personal talks. So when I told him that, I didn't come, basically you asked me to come back. So at least you can do is fix your attitude. And after I told him that, now when I go and work, I feel better because now when he see me, he greet me. Normally he'll just look at me and roll his eyes, but I mean, hey, after that, I feel good that I let that out, that I let him know how I felt. So now he trying his best not to be hostile when I'm around.
Outstanding. And so what you did was actually a real leadership skill. I hope you recognize that, which was actually saying, look, this is a challenge we're having. And you did it kindly by saying, I'd like to help you. This is the perception. I'd like to help you move forward so that this is a wonderful place to work. That's a leadership skill, whether you know it or not, Paige. Well done.
Have you
Well
ever had a
Thank
situation
you.
like that, Chef Janet?
Say that again, Andrew.
I said, what kind of situation have you had? Something like that or similar in the kitchen?
You know, there's it's one of those things where, and it goes back to training that we talked about last week, where that you reviewed last week. And it's I am a firm believer that you touch base with people on a daily basis. Hey, how's you doing? Oh, I heard your father was sick. Is he better? That you create these connections so that when it comes time to say, hey, Andrew, I noticed this is going on. It's kind of, we want to change how this is happening. Let's put our heads together and move forward with it. Am I here? Am I here? Okay.
Yeah.
And so my management style is different from other people's management style because I believe that it's a coordinated effort between the two of us, and our goal is not changing you or me. Our goal is what's that end thing and how do we get there the best way we can that satisfies the needs of the business as well as allowing us to thrive. Does that make sense, Andrew?
Yeah, because I noticed since we've been in school, I've noticed that a lot of people needed help, and you did not say no. You was like, how can we solve the problem? And that's an important thing, you know, to have somebody who's going to say, okay, I'm going to help you. You know, what can I do to help you? A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are like, okay, you're here to work. I don't want to hear your personal stuff. Just work.
Right. Well, and again, it's just a different method. There are lots of different types of managers. So I'm telling you this so you understand. I'm the youngest of 6, and one of my sisters is exactly like you said. I don't want to hear your problems. I want to know what's going on in your life. I am telling you to cut the onion this way, and that's it.
Wow.
So even in a family, you have different styles in relating to humans. Because businesses are actually created by humans and run by humans and promoted by humans, I'm really a firm believer of that human connection and developing it. Does it work every time? No. Because you could have that person who's like, I just come in here, do my 8 hours and walk away. Do not talk to me. Do not ask me about my personal life. So because the whole business is made up of a lot of different personalities, a good leader has the ability to be flexible and work within what they have. So Jennifer might be, Janet, just tell me what to do. So as a good leader, I need to give Jennifer the exact information she needs to be successful. And always know that if she ever needs to talk to me, my door is always open for her.
That's the spot right there. Yep.
Right? Always open. That's the gig. Now, are there times, and I put up an article for you guys to look at, because in your homework, we've got 4 different management types, but I wanted you guys to know that there's actually even more than that. And I wanted to ask you guys this question. Can a person just be one pure type, or could a person be multiple types depending on the situation they're in?
Multiple.
Talia gave me multiple. Andrew, you said multiple.
Yeah.
Why do you guys think that? What's your gut instinct? Why is that what you're saying?
Not everyone is cookie cutter. Not
Right?
everyone is cut the same.
Okay, absolutely. What about situational? The house is on fire. The restaurant's on fire. If I were kind of laid back, what would you think about me as your chef, as your leader?
I've lost all respect for you.
Yeah, right. I'm like, oh, don't worry, the fire will go out on its own. That's the laissez-faire. That's the laissez-faire.
You're very enthusiastic.
Yeah, right. So, but you
isn't
want to be able to have someone who might have to put a different hat on depending on what's going on.
Isn't there something to be said for being flexible though in those situations? It's not a bad thing to be, okay, the house is on fire, take a deep breath.
Yeah, no, that's a really, what I meant was, some laissez-faire are really hands off. As a matter of fact, you would have to call them to tell them that the restaurant's on fire. That's a true laissez-faire boss. But yes, you want that flexibility, absolutely, because it might demand that your boss is able to move from one style to another, depending on what the situation is. Absolutely, absolutely.
But the funny thing is, Chef Janet, is when you, like, I worked at Chase Bank and they had like 4 stations. And one girl, she got sick and she had to leave her station. And the manager just stood there and looked at me like.
So now
okay.
You're working 2 jobs?
Yeah, and I'm looking at her like, why can't you jump in here and make sandwiches? This is not hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the grill, it's hamburgers and then hot food.
Right.
Then the hot food guy jumps over to make sandwiches, and then I got to jump over to the hot food guy while he continues to make sandwiches, and the grill people got to wait. See, all that's unnecessary because you're just standing there doing nothing.
Right, right. Well, I can't really address why someone does what they do. All I can do for you, Andrew, is to help you take a look at the things that happen to you and decide,
Right.
Do you want to keep that as a leadership skill,
No.
or do you want to jettison it? And that's for everybody, right? So one of the things that I'm going to talk to you guys about before I let you guys go is I'm going to talk about Charlie Trotter. May he rest in peace. He's one of our great American chefs. And when he was also extraordinarily wealthy, guys. So please, don't try to emulate him. It'll be hard. One of the things that he did when he got out of culinary school is he decided he would spend 2 weeks at a restaurant and then move on to the next one. And then the next one and the next one. And he did that for about 6 months. And his philosophy was within 2 weeks' time, he will have seen every management style. He will understand what they do well, and he will understand what they don't do well. And what he had was a notebook. And after every day, he would sit down and he'd write down what he thought was an exceptional thing that they did. And he'd write down what he would avoid. I'm not going to set the line up this way. I'm not going to treat my employees this way. Right. So I will treat my employees this way. So not only would he write down the negative, but he would say, this is what I'm going to do instead. And what he did was he'd started developing on the fast track the way he wanted to be the best leader he possibly could be. He has a book out there, it's about 20 years old, In the Pursuit of Excellence, and it's how to be the best leader you can possibly be. It is a solid book. It has its flaws, just letting you know, but it's worth getting a hold of to read through to understand kind of how to be the best leader you can possibly be. He was at one point in the 90s considered the best chef in the United States. All relative, but at that time. So it's something for you guys you can incorporate now. You don't have to wait until you're a leader. He wasn't a leader yet. He was going through his training and writing down. So if there's something you guys think somebody does really well, write that down. And if there's something you think, oh, I don't want to do that, write it as a reminder and then what you would do differently. And you're going to start developing who you are as a leader. And just because you don't own the place, just because you don't have that executive chef title or sous chef title, you can still be a leader that people respect and look to and know that you're going to be, you've got their back and you're going to be there for them. And that's really important. What else do you guys want to add to that? Anything?
I know it sounds kind of weird, but you kind of just hit it on the head for me. I'm a good leader. I think I have really great people skills. That's something I know about myself. I'm very empathetic. I kind of feel people's auras. And I know that when I'm in a setting amongst a lot of people, I get people hyped up. I get people excited about things. I know that about myself. But before this whole quarantine started, I became a manager at the barbershop that I've been working at. And I was probably a manager for about a month before quarantine hit. And that month was really hard for me because I had never put myself in that management position. But what was weird is I saw people kind of shift on me. When I wasn't manager, people listened to me. They respected me. We worked together really well. It was really great. But the minute I became manager, they kind of turned my empathetic personality and my understanding against me. Like, oh, I'm late today. I'm this today. I'm that today. And it's like, they knew that I was a very kinder, more understanding person, not like a hard boss. So you kind of just shown that light to me that I know where my strengths are. I may not be the best leader, but I am a really good co-leader. Like I can make a place great for someone else. And that's not a bad thing. I know I'm a great supportive role. I'd like to be that main role someday. I think that has to do with confidence, but I feel like my sub management skills are where I'm strongest.
Outstanding. Self-knowledge is one of the most important things you can have in any leadership role you guys take on. Whether it's you are as the executive chef or you are a line cook, you still have leadership skills that you are showing. And that's something that's good knowledge for yourself. Because what you can do now, Talia, is you now get to ask yourself a question. And the question is this: do I want to be the type of leader where my people who work for me know that I have expectations that I expect them to fulfill?
Yeah.
If your goal is to show up on time, I've got to make sure you do it, you know? So that's, you have to ask yourself that question. And if the question is, yes, I want to be that person, then you have a whole bunch of questions. Then what do I need to develop to be that person? Paige, what's your question?
I mean, tell your story kind of like, it kind of gave me a headspace. Like, I want to start my own restaurant one day, but what she just told me confirmed that when I start hiring people for my restaurant, I don't want to know them on a personal level or a friendship level. Like, I feel like that's the best place, the best way to run a restaurant, because even now in my job, they asked me to be a supervisor. I turned it down because I don't like responsibility if it's not my household. But it's like, I had developed so many personal relationships with people in my job. It's like, they not gonna even take me serious since they just know this Paige, that's the cashier, and now y'all trying to move me to supervisor. So I turned down the position. But from Talia's story, it just made me understand why when I get my restaurant, I can't have a personal relationship. Because people feel like because you their friend or you their associate at work, they don't have to take you serious when you have a main title to do. So that just made me understand more. Like, when I start hiring people for my restaurant, I don't want to have like no personal, relationship with them. I'm gonna be understanding, but at the same time, I don't want my employees to look at me like I know you on a friendship level, because we have a job to do. And I didn't see many people work together that know each other because we friends. I'm not about to do what you tell me to do. And
Right. And that's that whole, humans are complex. I mean, honest to goodness, no one's simple. You're not dealing with, saying, hey, go take out the trash. You're dealing with the person's whole whatever's going on up here with someone who says, go take out the trash.
There are two things that I want to say.
Go for it, Andrew.
One is, and I'm talking to the ladies, the two that just got through talking. When somebody sees you as a supervisor or being in a supervisory position, before you say no, evaluate. Don't go on the past of what happened in the past, because the past is just what it is. It's the past. Now, when I went to this camp, okay, the position that I had applied for, it was not to be the head chef, not at all, not at all. I was just going to be the second cook, and the person that had the job turned down the job, and so they said, "Well, can you do the job?" Now, I'd never done the job before, never. I said, "Yes, I could do the job." So I had like 5 weeks before I had to report. So what I did was I started reading. I started looking. I started reading. I started looking. I started looking, breaking down recipes to see how many pounds I had to order. I wouldn't let nothing stop me from promotion, because anything that people put, you could do it. I know you didn't start out, Janet, as just where you are now. You started in one place, and then you went to the next position, and to the next position, and to the next position. That's how you get ahead. But when you say, okay, well, people look at me, they're not gonna listen to me because we was friends. No, we are never friends. I had 17 people who work for me. We're never friends. I'm your boss. You do what I asked you to do, and that's it. You don't get into too much friendship, because that's when things mess up. Oh, because I had a girl, she would come in and say, this is the honest to God truth. When it was her time in the month, she would like, I got cramps, I can't work. I can't work. For 5 days, you can't work? No, I don't. We need to transfer you to someplace else. Go work in the arts and craft department, because you can't work in here because I need hands. When you feeding 500 kids, you need hands. You don't need a whole lot of excuses. So that's basically all I want to say. I hope that made sense to somebody.
It's that idea, go for the promotion. Go for it, Paige. What was that?
I will say this, everything was evaluated about the supervisor position, the friendship wise, and also I looked into everything as far as, yes, it'll be good on my work history to say I had a supervision title, but at the same time, where I work at, the pay doesn't go up. It's the same. When you're a supervisor, you have to come in when they want you to. Currently, I said that I can't focus on two things at one time, because if I go for a supervision promotion, that's going to be my main thing. I have to supervise. That was evaluated along with the pay and along with the benefits that it'll bring to my work history. I'm not looking forward to move up in a place where I know it's temporary for me. My dream and my goal is to be a chef. My passion is writing. I know what I want to do with myself. Being a supervisor at Kroger's, yes, the titles of it'll be good to say when I go for a job somewhere, oh, I was a supervisor at Kroger's. That's a good thing to have on my background, but at the same time, first I evaluated it to the point where it was like, okay, I don't feel like people, because I work with a bunch of kids. It's more kids than it's grown-ups. That's for one.
Oh boy.
I work in an unstable environment. That's for two. For three, like I said, the pay didn't make a difference from what I'm already getting made. So what would be the point of the promotion? It's up a red coat. So it was evaluated. I evaluated everything. But at the same time, like I said, Kroger's is temporary for me. I didn't want to come back this time, but once again, it's temporary. And my goal is going to be always my number one focus. That's why Kroger's, after school, then it's Kroger's. It's not Kroger's, then school. It was evaluated. It's not just about people respecting me as a supervisor. It's more to it. That's just part of what I said.
So, Paige, so what it sounds like to me is that you're trying to be really strategic in how you develop your professional life. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. You know, particularly since you said, look, you were going to have more responsibility without the pay. Yeah, I'm with you.
I'd rather be a frontline cashier.
Mm-hmm. It does what you needed to do right now, and that's good. Just keep being strategic. That's half the challenge, is make a move when it makes sense to make the move. Kalia says, I think this is where a lot of managers go wrong. Their heart is not in it, so therefore they end up causing chaos. Oh, truer words have never been said, Kalia. It's really, really true. And so I'm going to leave you guys with a thought here. And it's mostly, it's for everybody. And you guys know what burnout is, right? What do you guys think burnout is?
You stopped caring. You cared so hard at some point. You put in so much of yourself, so much work, so much of your personal life, because you're pushing your personal self to the side so you could have more advancements in your workplace. So you're pushing the sacrifices that you make, they don't go noticed. And when you sacrifice for so long, there's only so much you can do without getting recognition for that you see no growth, and you just get complacent, and you're over it.
Okay, so we're looking at it being overwhelming, lots of energy expenditure. What else could cause burnout, guys?
Too many hours.
Okay, too many hours, expending a lot of energy. What I am right now. Sorry, Kalia, I'm sorry. Also, part of it is you're basically just coming to work and nothing you do is affecting change. That's something that's just being observed right now, that if you go to a job and it doesn't matter what you do, nothing is different, that can also burn you out. Part of having a really great job, and it doesn't matter where you are in the position, feeling like not delegating the workload, right? Trying to do it all yourself. These things can cause burnout. And a lot of people who are in supervisory positions, what they end up doing is they're expending so much energy, right? 60, 70, 80, 90 hours a week. They're not seeing their efforts making a difference. And they're also giving up on things that actually do feed them back. And when you start getting really, really tired, what happens? How's your relationship with humans?
Not good.
Grumpy.
Grumpy. Who likes to have a grumpy person around?
Nobody.
Nobody, right? Or maybe you start snapping at people. What about your decision-making process? Are you good at making good decisions when you're tired and grumpy?
No, I don't even want to go to work.
Right? You just kind of want to sit there and be quiet and ask people to leave you alone.
Exactly.
So this is something to be really aware of when you get to a supervisory position, when you start taking on these leadership roles, is to be really cognizant of what are the triggers that cause you to get tired, that cause you to get grumpy, that cause you to feel like you're expending more energy without getting some refueling. Because it's really easy to tip over and go into that burnout area. And burnout typically means quitting.
Jackpot.
And if you like the job that you're at, then you want to really work at managing that energy level. So there you go. Anybody want to talk about burnout really fast?
I just want to talk about the difference between the last job I had at Chase was I had an office job, and I didn't like it. I didn't like sitting in the office all day, being the steward, counting up, seeing how much meat we got and all. I didn't like that job, so I quit.
Yeah, and that's okay.
I just didn't like it. I didn't want to do it. I told my boss I wanted to go back to my old position at my old salary because I didn't care. Well, we're not going to let you go back. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Well, you got to make those decisions that end up being best for you with in whatever way that means, Andrew.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. All right,
Have you
guys.
ever quit a job?
Pardon me?
Have you ever quit a job?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Give us a good
I've
one.
got great self-knowledge about myself, so absolutely.
Give us one good one.
I was working at a video store in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I walked in. I was 10 minutes late, first time, 10 minutes late, and the boss said, "I'm going to dock you 4 hours."
Ooh.
And I said, "I don't work for anyone for free." I was 16. Can you believe I said that at age 16?
Ooh.
Boy, I was gutsy.
You go, girl.
And so, look, Mark has a smile on his. What is your quit story? Yeah, we had to ask Mark, right? And so I said no. I don't work for free. No. And it's unfair. First time, you don't dock me 4 hours for the first time being late. So
Mm-mm.
that's my first story of walking out. Yeah. Mark, you have a story? You have a smile on your face.
What happened to Mark?
I think he froze. Maybe that's the smile on his face. It just hasn't gone away. Oh, now he moved. Now he moved. You had a story, Mark? No, he's saying, no, I don't have a story. I'm just smiling. Why? He's 16 years old in a video store? Look, it was those old ones.
Gutsy.
That
Gutsy.
was a long time ago.
Gutsy.
And guys, the best thing you can do is start by knowing who you are, and you're going to set yourself up well, decide where you want to develop, utilize resources, find mentors, attend conferences that help you be better leaders, join organizations that help you be a better leader. And then at the end of the day, practice. Practice, practice, practice. And the strongest, personally, the strongest thing I think a leader can do is say, I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. This is what I'm going to do to fix it. And you can really develop with that, because it shows that you too are human. All right. You guys go have a really great week.
Hold it, before you go anywhere, I got a question.
Okay,
Are you gonna be our teacher next?
Next block? No, you move on to a new teacher, a new instructor.
This is it?
Yeah, we've got 17 days left, Andrew. Let's enjoy every last one of them.
Can we show our leadership skills and tell them no, that we want to keep you?
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't know if Chef Greg is still here. I don't know if Chef Greg is still here, but you can try.
I am.
Are you gonna be the next teacher?
I will not, no.
Oh,
I will
okay.
not.
'Cause you don't seem like you're fun.
Chef Janet is absolutely amazing, so thank you very much for the compliments to her, though.
Thank you. Yeah, it's nice.
Very, very amazing.
She's really good. And before I came to this class, I had Chef Crystal too. Y'all personalities are great. Chef Crystal and y'all are the best, like, for real. I mean, even when I was slacking, you would call and, Paige, what's going on? What's going on? I'd be like, man, Kroger's got me hemmed up. And you ain't give up on me. You didn't give up. And Chef Crystal, she was a great chef. I mean, y'all got some really good teachers at Escoffier, for real. Like, I appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much, Paige, and everybody for saying so. Thank you.
We love you, Chef Janet.
Yeah. I love you back. I love you. You guys have been an absolute blast. Now, we're not done yet. We don't get to start saying all this crying and tearing. We got 17 more days, and I expect you guys to work. All right. You guys go have a great night. I really appreciate your time. You know where I am if you need me. And remember, just knock out that week 4. And if you don't get a good grade, take it again and again and again until you get that 10. Because you are worth it. You are a 10. Right. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Ta-ta.
Bye.
Ta-ta.
If you
Good
can
night,
stop the recording if you want to. I'll just sort of
Yes.
hang for a bit.
Yes, Chef, I am. So it says, do you want to stop the cloud recording? So it does look like it's going to